Hello and welcome to episode 15 of SHS Today. And joining me at the news desk is Devin Norris. We have a lot of exciting news to share with you today.
Yes, indeed, Brennan. Our first topic is an update on the construction to see how things are going. Michaela and Gianna interviewed Principal Collier as well as some of the students to see what they thought about the renovation so far.
The foyer to the Performing Arts Center, they took the wall down yesterday. We actually have a video of a couple students seeing it for the first time. It's funny, students just they're in awe. Like, am I still in Salem High School? This is not my school anymore. The reactions by the students is the best. I love being in a new space that opens up to see student reaction because they can't believe they're still at Salem High School. Like, this is really ours now? Yeah, it is. So just this morning, we had students going through that foyer area. It was fantastic watching the excitement.
I saw the auditorium. It's very nice, okay? It's huge. And I saw the new main wing, and it's very nice. It makes me feel rich.
I have not seen the auditorium. I'd like to see that next. I saw on Snapchat it turned out really good.
The final result is actually surprisingly really nice. It reminds me of some modern day high school that was just built, but obviously it wasn't just built. It's just an addition. And I think it's really cool, but also at the same time I miss how everything else used to look before.
The construction's really good. I really like it, but it's pretty bad that you can't use the front entrance still.
Once the security system is working at the new main entrance, any students who are tardy after 7:30 will check in at the new main entrance. They won't be going to where Mrs. Radowitz is located any longer. Also, any visitors. If anyone's coming in to be a guest speaker, any parents need to drop things off, any packages, they will start coming to the new main entrance also. We've already had deliveries coming in the new main entrance. But that will all be filtered up this way. And the nice thing about the new main entrance, when you walk in, if you have a meeting with a case manager in special education, you'll be buzzed in one door. Any deliveries or other visitors, tardy students will be buzzed in a separate door. But once you come up to the doors at the main entrance, we'll have the same camera system that we did previously. And so you have to be buzzed in. You're in a foyer area, and then you make a decision, again, either special education or main office, and you're buzzed in those doors. So you have to be given access twice before you can actually get into the school, which is nice and secure.
The part that's done looks really nice. I wish the whole school looked like that.
The completed places are they're pretty nice, but I don't like the color scheme.
I like the overall product of the construction. It makes me want to come to school and learn. It just gives a college vibe to it.
So the next phases to come online for construction will be our nurse's office, which is where my old office was. Also, the IT office will open up at the beginning of the school year. That's where guidance was. And upstairs from there, where the temporary library was, there will be some special education space. Also opening up for the beginning of next school year will be automotive and wood tech and building construction technology. Into about the end of the first quarter, we will open up our new STEM wing. All of our science classes will be in there. Also some CTE programs that are heavy in science, like health science technology, biomedical engineering will be there. And then second semester, we'll open up our new art wing and some humanities classrooms. So there is a lot happening, a lot going on.
I have to walk through all the construction, and it's just a hassle my senior year, and I'm not even going to see the completed project.
So I know a lot of comments from seniors and even some juniors, why is this happening now? I'm not going to be able to enjoy this. When it's all done, when we open up the 18-19 school year and it's all done, I'm sure there'll be opportunities for any graduates, recent and older graduates, to come back and take a look at the facility. I'm sure there'll be another grand opening at that time, but we certainly want to show it off to anyone who wants to see it.
The construction team seems to be hard at work making the school look great.
I agree, Brendan. And speaking of the new renovation, the new library just opened up last week. It looks really nice, don't you think, Brendan?
Yes, definitely. I have passed by it a few times already, and I must say I am impressed with the final product.
Last week, Salem High had a course information night to give all the upcoming 8th graders who will be coming here to Salem High next year a sneak peek at all the courses and programs being offered to them when they arrive.
Yes, and we also went to interview some of those 8th graders and their parents to see what they thought of the event and the courses being offered.
The purpose of Course Information Night, I think, is just, it's in the name. It's information about our courses, about our programs, about the schedule. Really the primary focus, I think, is to educate the incoming freshmen, the 8th grade parents, about the school, the schedule, and all the wonderful offerings that are available.
I think it's a great program. The ability for each one to be represented is really nice. Go around, talk to the teachers who are involved, and just having it available for my son Ethan here to come and look at it all and see what he's interested in. I went to Salem High, so they had something similar to this, but this is much more extensive than when I was a student.
I don't quite recall the exact start date. I want to say it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It transformed from what used to be second semester open house, and we found that that wasn't very well attended for whatever reason. So we decided that this would be a better use of our time, the teachers' time, in terms of making sure that parents and students have the information they need to, again, make wise choices about their schedule and about their, future plans.
The CTE courses that interest me were culinary arts, and I just wanted to take the fine arts program too. So I just wanted to try those out.
There's quite a few actually. Languages seems to be one that he's very interested in, as well as the science and math. And we're still actually looking around. We're about halfway around so far, so we'll see what else we find on the way through.
My favorite subject in school right now is science, and I think I like it because we got to work with chemicals. I like working with experiments and all the chemicals and stuff.
My favorite subject in school is math because, I don't know, I like how it always has a solution and, it really just makes sense and stuff.
I have to say math because you actually have to learn how to, do angles and different fractions and stuff like that, so.
I would say my favorite subject is probably science because it's just it's interesting to find out more about the world around you, I guess.
Well, I know the computers interest her, and she's looking and reading into other areas. She hasn't decided yet, so.
Well, he was interested in Mandarin, but that's what he was interested in. Actually, looking at the curriculum and what's available, I'm pretty impressed, and I'm glad. I can't say there's always maybe something you might like to see, but I think given what is required for 4 years of high school education, I think it looks like a really good offering.
Primarily, we see mostly the incoming freshman students and parents. I really think it's beneficial for parents even of upperclassmen to come and make sure that they are choosing the right courses. We have all departments are represented. The school counselors are on site. We have representatives from the Running Start program, the dual credit program on site, AP courses, so, career and technical programs, which really are targeted towards upperclassmen. So I think while we plant a lot of seeds for the underclassmen, the incoming freshmen, so that they understand what's ahead of them as they progress through high school.
I think I might join a club. I haven't seen one that I'll join right now, but I think I'm going to try to join a club.
The stuff with TV and computer softwares, those kind of interest me, electronics and all that.
I do think that there's a lot of great information out there for everybody, and I would really encourage them to take advantage of that and be informed and make the right choices. The purpose.
That's really amazing to see how much of an effect an event like that can have on what some of the kids were thinking of taking, as many of the CTE courses even offer running start credits for colleges and great hands-on experience in many of these career paths.
I agree, Devin. Speaking of careers, our robotics team has just competed in a FIRST competition. Brooke and May got the inside scoop into the competition. Let's take a look.
This week, Brooke and I decided to feature the first Robotics Club. It's a great way for all these students who are interested in joining the engineering field to go in and get a sense of what to expect in the engineering career. They are even getting ready for their first competition, which is coming up very soon.
So FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. FIRST Robotics just being the oldest robotics competition that exists within the program. There's 4 other levels as well that deal with students ranging from K through 12, but the program that we have at the high school is specifically for our students here. Essentially what we do is we work with students as well as local engineers from other companies and help them learn engineering skills, personal management skills, but also budget management and other aspects. We really try and run it like a company. We have 6 weeks to design and build a full-sized robot, roughly the size of a person actually, so they get pretty big. And then we compete with them throughout March and April. We travel all over New England, and if we qualify and perform well in competition, we can go all the way to the World Championship. This year in St. Louis, next year in Detroit.
My favorite thing is that the students really have a free range to do what they want and build the robot how they imagine it. Like, the teacher has very little interaction. It's mainly just student driven, and you figure out what the robot is and what you want to do and how everything should work together.
My favorite thing is the free range is just designing the robot. I really enjoy just use my creativity and problem solving to really get the robot to where it needs to be.
My favorite thing about robotics has to be just the experience of designing a robot and then eventually building it, just seeing how everything works, and it really feels like you've accomplished something at the end of the day.
Thanks. So in FIRST Robotics, there's a number of different things that we actually work on. Obviously, there is the robot, which combines aspects of mechanical engineering, so building things, electrical engineering, wires and circuits, and software development, so making programs and code that actually make the robot move. But there's other things as well that students can work on. We need budget management students because our goal budget is upwards of $20,000, $30,000 if we get enough sponsors. On the sponsor end, we need people who are willing to reach out to local companies and try and ask to try and build partnerships with those companies. But we also need students who are artistic, students who are graphic designers, so that we can work on our branding and things like that. So there's a lot that goes into one of these programs, and it really is run like a small company.
I've taken a bunch of engineering programs, and I'm currently in a civil engineering program.
I have taken 3 CT engineering classes. Last year I took Intro to Engineering Design, and this year Civil Engineering and Architecture and Digital Electronics.
I'm in Principles Engineering and Civil Engineering and Architecture.
So students in my program, in the robotics program, can use their skills that they've learned in my engineering classes as well, but they can also learn the skills that they learn in the robotics program in their classes too. It's a two-way street. And so what we do is robotics is actually a very, very hands-on way of applying those engineering skills that they learn, because they get to work on these projects throughout a very, very short 6-week timeline. Trust me, if we had the amount of time we really wanted for these, we'd be building all year. But it's a highly condensed timeline. They get to work with professional engineers from around the region, and it's a great opportunity for them. So students compete with other teams from not only all over the country, but all over the world. It is an international program. Across all 4 competitions that FIRST hosts, there are teams from over 35 to 40 countries worldwide. FIRST Robotics is primarily centered in the United States, but they have teams from Great Britain, from Israel, from Mexico. There's a few teams from China and Australia and Japan now. So they have the potential to be working with students from all over the world.
Some of my skills have improved by just imagining how the robot should fit together and just the general physical being of what we're designing. On the computers, it's kind of hard to imagine in real life, but then when you're actually designing the robot and building it, you can kind of really see and feel it for real.
My people skills have improved. I've learned to really communicate with people better, to work together to solve a common goal. That's really what's improved for me.
My skills have improved with virtual design of things. I took a class a year ago on it, but I kind of came a little rusty, but I've re-entered those skills and improved on them. Also learned how to build things better physically with screwdrivers or wrenches.
I would say my favorite part of the overall experience of FIRST is that sense of accomplishment that you get at the end of each season, where you start off going into the season not knowing what you're going to build, not knowing how you're going to perform, putting in all of those endless hours for something that just starts off as a quick little idea, and then seeing how it becomes reality and how you actually can present that to the rest of the people around the world. depending on what level of competition you go to. And just seeing the student, when I was a student, I loved it. Working on, an independent part of the design, and then seeing it actually get built and then used in competition. And now that I'm a teacher and a mentor, I love seeing that same feeling of fulfillment that my students get that I had when I was their age.
Robotics is a wonderful club that offers many opportunities. And it's an all-around fun club. And just consider joining it next year. Or you could also have the ability to join the business portion of the club, which means trying to find sponsors for the club. And, really help sponsor and get the funds for the club to keep running for next year's and the years after. So thank you, and back to you in the studio.
I think I speak for all of us here at SPD TV when I say that we are proud of our robotics team.
I agree, Devin. Another group of kids at Salem High that compete is the JROTC. Tara and Christy got an update of this club. Let's see what they found.
This week we looked at JROTC. JROTC is a similar thing to ROTC, except this prepares you for college. We decided to take a look more into the program and look at drill and other things. Let's check that out.
Well, our program is designed around our mission statement, which is to develop citizens of character serving country and community. We're somewhat structured on a military basis. That is, we have the design of a typical Air Force base with all the job functions such as logisticians, personnelists, information managers, squadron commanders, unit commanders, and it's a cadet-run organization, so all those people in those job positions actually run the organization.
So I've taken all the classes except science flight. So you started as a freshman in aviation history, which is kind of like the background of how planes started, how rockets work, stuff like that, and then it comes all the way up to like modern day technology. And then your sophomore year, I took science of flight, which teaches you all about how the rockets work, how rocket propulsion works, how we get into space, stuff like that. My third year, I took survival, which has been my favorite class. You go outside and you actually learn how to build igloos in the winter or start fires, stuff like that. Your finals, you have to go out and make a video of how you would survive in a survival situation. So it was like a downed aircraft, or you had gotten lost in the woods, you'd have to find your way back. That's our most popular class. And then this year I'm in management, which is a lot of one-on-one work, just trying to do my job in the unit.
I have taken Science of Flight and Aviation History, which are the first two, and I just finished last semester the, what is it called? I'm sorry, I'm taking Survival right now, and I took the third class last semester. It's all great.
Well, we have two instructors. I teach the leadership education portion of the curriculum, which includes the drill and marching. Basically, I teach all the kids about the structure of the program, public speaking, leadership development, life skills, and then in my fourth year, the study of management. And that's where the kids actually plan events based on their instruction, based on their learning. They plan events for the organization and the unit.
So yeah, so I'm the unit commander, so I'm in charge of 125 cadets, and so I just make sure that everything in the unit runs smoothly. Everybody that has individual jobs below me reports to me, and I just kind of I'm the manager. I'm the top guy that everybody goes to with questions.
I roll in the class. In the class, I'm just a student, but outside of the class with the extracurricular activities, I'm the color guard commander, so I have to coordinate all the color guards, keep who's on them, and manage all of that.
As part of our program, we take what we learn in the classroom out on the road. We actually call that CIA, and it's not what you may think. It stands for Curriculum in Action, and basically what we teach in the classroom, we take on the road through community service events, other field trips. We'll be going to Washington in March for 4 days, visiting all the different museums, aerospace, the government offices, the Pentagon, the White House. And we do a lot of work in community service areas supporting veterans as well. One of the other things we do, along with our drill in class, which is part of our curriculum, we also have competition drill teams. We compete against 4 of the schools in the area, and we have each school has about 8 different teams they compete at, and it's usually on a Saturday, and it takes pretty much an all day to do the competition.
Yes, absolutely. You learn a lot of leadership opportunity and a lot of organization and time management. Our biggest thing is we don't recruit for the military. I don't plan on going into the military after high school. I plan on going to UMass Lowell. And that's our biggest thing is over the 4 years I've had no interest in the military, and I've I just took it for the leadership ability, and I think that's helped me a lot.
It's just fun. It's like everyone's like a family, and everyone's just really nice, and you all like do stuff together as one. So
I guess that's it for today, Salem High. Have a great day.
We wish for the best to our JROTC people.
Indeed, Devin. The last segment is an issue here not only at Salem High, but in the town of Salem, New Hampshire, parking. Sean and I got a chance to talk to Officer Robeck, Miss Davis, and some of the students to see what the problems of parking are. Let's take a look.
Today we'll be talking about how to go about getting a parking pass, what you'll need to do, how much you need to pay, and how to avoid getting a ticket.
People who aren't allowed to park here without a pass, and let us know. Because parking is so tight this year because of construction, we only have a number of allotted spots for the students and for staff members. So if somebody parks here they're not supposed to, they're actually taking a pass away, a spot from another student that is eligible for a pass.
We don't have designated spots, so no, but I mean, I do have a spot that I usually try to park in, and people park in it all the time, so I just park next to it.
I think it's pretty good. I think the teachers and students are allowed at their own sections, which I think works perfectly. While there is not as much parking as there was 2 years ago, I still think it adequately fits the students' needs.
Parking, just if you're not sure if it's okay to park there, chances are it's probably not, and strongly recommend either checking with the school staff or at least the town hall if you're going to try and park over there.
The students parked is in the main lot. We do have colored maps on the designated areas for the students to park. All students have a parking pass displayed on their front passenger windshield to make sure they can park there. To process a parking pass, we are for internships, which is usually 11th and 12th grades, and that has to be approved by Ms. Mahalzik or Mrs. Barubi. Also, the seniors, we do a lottery, which you have to have, we check on discipline and your GPA of 2.7 in order to qualify for the lottery pass.
The main parking obviously is the real estate. There's not a whole lot of it, and especially with the high school with the construction and whatnot going on, obviously real estate's at a premium, obviously at this point in time, especially until I think they finalize a few of the projects, a couple of phases they got going on, and open up a little bit more of the park, and it's going to be tight. And there's only so many areas close by, as you know, like the Field of Dreams. I know the church allows parking, the Boys and Girls Club, and I believe the Santos building, the people who own that building also allow a charge for parking as well.
Anyone who's interested in a pass or a temporary pass, any student can get a temporary pass. They're allowed 2 a month. You at least need to do it the day before, and all we required is a license and a registration, and we'll give you a pass for your car so you're able to park that day that you like to be parking. For right now, for a semester pass, it's $5, so it's for a semester, and for temporary passes, there's no fees.
Now that you know how to go about getting a parking pass, avoid getting a ticket, park safe, Salem High.
That sure was interesting. Well, that's all we've got for today, Salem High. I'm Devin Norris.
And I'm Brandon Nault. And we'll see you next time, Salem High.